Is something happening?
It's raining really hard. Can you hear it?
I can hear it, but your face made me scared.
That means it's gonna be. I know, because it's gonna get caught on the audio. I don't know how to get it out. It's gonna be. Oh no.
Just talk.
There's nowhere to go. The house is too small.
I think it's... Just put a blanket around your head and just talk into the blanket.
I could do that. I'm trying to look what can I do? I can't go in the closet that's near the window. All right, we're just gonna have to work with it. I'll try to edit it out.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Welcome. Happy holidays.
Because
it's December.
Holidays.
And even though not all of the holidays are celebrated in December, this appears to be the time we start to say happy holidays. So go team. All right, well, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And
love is all around us.
I was gonna try to sing some of it and then probably change the words because holy moly. If there's a drinking game for this movie, that would be one of the things. It would be drink every time they play that stupid song that nobody likes. Everyone talks about how much they hate it, but they play it so much.
Even the guy singing it is it's terrible.
I know. It's just too much.
I don't remember the last time I actually saw this movie from start to finish. And it has...
And what's our movie?
Love Actually.
Actually?
It's
about love.
So actually, it sucks. It's not about love. It's about what love shouldn't be. And... it is an awful, awful, awful movie.
I told you, I think, last time, I probably didn't get too into it, but I think reference, I don't like this movie. I've never liked this movie.
I guess I remembered in my mind the dialogue being light, which in one aspect it is kind of a light, love light, but there's a lot of problematic themes. And
yeah,
I didn't sync those all together. I thought oh, just silly little stories and who cares, move on. They're very messed up stories. This is kind of a horror film.
And they're unhealthy. There's a lot of unhealthy.
Very unhealthy.
Things happening. I mean, I kind of feel like this movie takes itself way too seriously.
Oh my, yes.
And I think if it was a parody, because you could easily make this parody.
100%.
I think it would be amazing, but it's not. It's so serious with every part.
James was oh yeah, how was the movie? And I was it was awful.
Oh, he didn't watch it with you?
No.
Oh, good.
I would not subject him to that. But he was oh yeah, wasn't there a story about this? And then I went in to describe every story, but positioned it in a horrible manner because it is horrible. And if you just read that, this is horrific. So I'm going to attempt it. Oh wait, we do our synopsis. Shall we do the synopsis or?
Yeah.
I think I could do a synopsis with the couple stories. So instead of me doing this whole arc of the interweaving, I think if I just bluntly describe the couple stories, you get the same effect.
Yep, I think that makes sense.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I have no idea anyone's name.
I know. I named everyone their actors' names if I knew them. And then if I didn't, I would just give a descripting adjective. And that was it.
So you'll have to help me. So let's talk about the first couple, which we'll call him Third Wheel Man. And his best friend is getting married to Keira Knightley. Am I saying her last name right? Knightley?
Yes.
Okay.
I called the third wheel guy definitely the wrong name because I kept trying to figure out what the actual character name was. It was something with an M. So I wrote Mark, Mick, Mitch. But then every time I would write /Rick because he played Rick on The Walking Dead. He's like one of the main characters. So
yeah. He definitely is doing better.
Yes.
So his best friend is getting married, but he's in love with the best friend's wife. And then continuously pursues her in a really awkward way by being abusive to her, basically. And then they kiss. Cool.
Yep, that's about it.
That's messed up. Then we go to Hugh Grant, who's the prime minister, and he basically starts flirting with his assistant and then fires her when the fake Billy Thornton president from the US comes to visit and sexually harasses her, and then he fires her for that. But don't worry, she sends him a Christmas card, and then he runs to her house to go back together. What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's that. Then we go to Emma Thompson, who is married to Professor Snape. Is that his
Alan
name?
Rickman, yes.
And Alan Rickman is the cliche falling in love with his hot secretary and basically cheats on his wife and makes her feel like utter garbage. And then that's their love story.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we go to, what's the guy's name from Bridget Jones's Diary? Colin Firth. So Colin Firth, his brother, is sleeping with his wife. So then he flees that situation to a cabin where this Portuguese house cleaner / assistant comes to stay with him. This is 2 weeks because I took note of the timing of when it was 2 or 3 weeks till Christmas. He meets her and in 3 weeks falls in love with her, but they don't speak the same language. But don't worry, in 3 weeks figured out each other's languages. And then he visits his family for Christmas, looks at them and says, "Love you," and gets on a plane to Portugal and proposes to her. And then they live happily ever after. What?
Yeah.
Then we have Liam Neeson, who his poor wife dies, and we see him struggling with that, but his stepson...
Is it a stepson? I wasn't sure.
It's a stepson.
Oh, so confusing.
His stepson is also falling in love for the first time as an 11-year-old.
As they do. So casual for an 11-year-old not going through puberty yet. Yep.
Totally. To the point that Liam Neeson's like, don't worry about airport security. If your girlfriend is moving back to the US, you should flee security to tell her you love her, and then that's okay. What?
Yeah, that's how you get arrested.
What?
That's a fine. It's a fine in the making. Mm-hmm.
What? And then we have... I'm so sorry. If you've already gone, listeners, I understand. Then we have, she's famous too, with the brother in the mental health facility.
Laura Linney.
Laura Linney is in love with this super hot coworker, which they're always working late at night. So Professor Snape, what's up with that? But okay. And she finally gets a shot because she's been in love with this guy for 2 years. He shows interest. They basically get together, but her brother keeps calling her cell phone, so they don't get together.
Yep.
Where is the love? Where is there any love in any of these?
Well,
it sounds like abuse and what? There is no actually.
It's a lot of unhealthy relationships.
Did I miss another? My favorite.
The best one.
That's another Colin. That was actually his name in the movie.
Oh, who?
The character name. The skinny dude that British women, that's his problem.
That was your favorite?
Yeah, because it was so ridiculous. When I say favorite, I'm saying that this movie is so ridiculous. This was, I think, the cherry on top of ridiculousness.
I hated that guy. Oh my gosh.
He treats women like garbage, blames the entire country's female population that it's their problem and American women are better, gets on a plane to Wisconsin, meets models in Wisconsin at a local airport bar who are so poor they only have one bed and no pajamas, so they sleep naked.
Even though they're wearing clothes.
Yeah, and then he comes back to Britain with supermodels. What? What's happening? This movie would not be made today.
Wait, and you forgot, because I did like this one, even though there were still problems with it, the adult actors.
Oh my god, the porn stand-in.
Yes.
Bilbo Baggins.
Martin Freeman. I love him. He's so good.
Yeah, they were actually the only, like, nice people, but, like, of course they had to be in a porn.
But, like, they were the only ones who actually had conversations and, like, got to know each other. Whereas all these other love stories are people who don't talk to each other.
Nope.
Ever. But then they claim their love. I don't get it.
Oh, and then the rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rock star who just keeps calling his manager fat, ugly, and terrible, but then he professes his love for the manager at the end.
But then the manager doesn't reciprocate, and so then we're, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I blacked out of the pain. I gouged my eyeballs out.
I was so confused because in my brain, I thought they then got together. I thought it was like a beautiful, like, gay relationship, and it wasn't at all. It wasn't. So no one's happy. Okay. Got it. Message received.
I honestly, like, I'm reading my notes and I was so salty this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, little girl plays a lobster. What the hell? This movie just desires randomness.
It really does, though.
Yeah, Hugh Grant's the prime minister. Why is he acting like he got a surprise job? So random.
Yes. It's 100% true. But that's what I mean. Like, this would have been such a good parody because they already had, like, random elements that you would think would be in a parody. Like, having a whole nativity play with a kid wearing Spider-Man makeup and, like, a lobster. And they sing the "Catch a falling star, put it in your pocket, never let it go away." I didn't know where that song was from. And now I know. So, thank God. But, like, it just takes itself so seriously. And you're like, why couldn't we just make it all a joke? Because it's just so stupid. Well, it should all be a joke, but no one's reacting like it's a joke.
The crux of what made everything serious was Christmas. Well, it's Christmas.
I call bullshit.
It's Christmas. I was like, what?
Where is it? Let me know. Because aside from buying gifts, which you could have made like a birthday subplot, you could have just made a work party subplot. And there's a Christmas song? Could have just made it a song. I don't understand why this needed to be Christmas. There was no anything. Nothing. It was so stupid.
This is random, but I also wrote, Love Actually makes fun of Wisconsin. LOL.
That whole part, like, when that scene started happening, I was like, this is a dream sequence, right? Like, this is, like, all gonna be a joke, and he's, like, sleeping alone in a motel and whatever. No, it was real. The movie was like, this is very serious, and you guys know that this is absolutely what would happen. Who wrote this, by the way? Because I want to write a letter. I'm gonna write a letter. Let's look at the writers.
Whoever wrote this, I'm just gonna say, is probably not writing movies the same way or anymore.
I hope not, but let's double check because I have stuff to say to them. The writer was a man, and the writer was also the director. Can anyone tell me if they're surprised? Oh, no one's surprised? Got it. Wonderful. That's why there were all these half-naked women, hardly any half-naked men. Ew, and he's like an old guy. Ugh, I hate him.
The female characters were so bad. Emma Thompson was the only one that, like, kind of held it together, but
yeah.
Every female character was like, I'll drop everything for love, or if somebody forces themselves on me, I will say thank you for that. What?
That part? You're referring to Natalie and the president?
Yeah, and also the wife, whose best friend confesses his love to her, the third wheel, Mark, Mitch, whoever.
Mark, Mitch, Matthew, Luke, and John, / Frank.
And you're just like, wait, why do you feel bad for his feelings that you have to go run and give him a kiss? Like, why are all the women so dumb?
Let's talk about that subplot because we learn as it kind of progresses, we learn that he never talks to her.
Ever.
This is stated. And then the husband, who's the friend, is like, be nice. And he's like, I'm always nice. So, like, we get this picture that, like, this guy's a jerk and he doesn't really know the girl. Like, he doesn't know her. He doesn't know anything about her because he doesn't talk to her. And then you're gonna tell me you love her?
But that's like a 5-year-old, like, playground love. Like, I'm gonna pretend to hate you so no one will know I love you. That's what, like, 5-year-olds do.
I just felt like that was the case for half of these subplots where it was like, well, nobody's getting to know each other, but, like, you're a hot lady, so let's do it. But I'm gonna call it love and not like I'm a horn dog.
Yeah.
The only one who admitted to being a horn dog was stupid Colin. My God. And he gets rewarded for it with 4 women. Please. No.
And
so stupid.
He was pretty rough looking. Come on.
Yeah. He had nice teeth, though. I do remember that, because, stereotypes. It's like...
The other theme I never, ever picked up on...
I know what you're gonna say.
...was...
Let's hear it.
Fat phobia.
Oh my God.
How much fat phobia comment?
Yeah,
I mean,
much.
It was like their editors of the writing were like Weight Watchers CEO, because it was just the most problematic fat phobia ever. And even to the point with Natalie's character, the Hugh Grant's secretary, whatever.
God.
They're like, her legs are like tree trunks, and then the camera pans her legs as she walks out.
Right. And again, it's like Hugh Grant, the way they wrote his character, he was kind of like, I don't agree with that. And he would like make comments, but then like everybody else kept doing it. And then like that was supposed to be the funny part.
Well, and he's the boss. So you're telling me like your chief of staff calls the woman you're falling in love with fat, and you just smile and say, thanks. You're the boss. You what?
Yeah.
You have to...
Right.
What?
Also, him and Natalie had a total of maybe 2 conversations. One of those was with other people, so I don't even know if we can count that. So.
Her character was so annoying because she was like, ooh, I'm flustered at the prime minister, so I cursed by accident. And I was like, this is so bad. This is so bad. Your subplot is that you curse as a woman? Wow.
And that you get called fat by everyone.
So, like, that's your personality. It's like, she's a quirky woman because she curses.
Yep. Because women don't curse, Bridge. Don't you know?
I did say, even though I think it was a little extreme, Liam Neeson and the little boy, they did have somewhat of like they treated each other somewhat nice. But
yeah. I kind of like it better knowing that the son was the stepson.
Yeah.
Because I really wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
Because then you kind of see them bonding. Although, again, like, I just feel like the way this movie connected people wasn't realistic.
No.
I wish instead we could have seen, like, that the son and the dad were awkward and didn't, like, get along.
Yeah.
And then we saw them bonding. Because I don't know what the heck their relationship is. They could be the best of friends. And, like, I don't know. I'm just seeing them after the mom died. So, like, what's going on? But I think it was supposed to be like, oh, they're not very close. And then when the boy gets a crush on the girl, that's, like, what helps them bond, which is dumb. Because, again, he's, like, 11 and he, again, doesn't know the girl, and she doesn't know him, and they have a total of 1 conversation, which is 1 less than many of the other love pairs in this movie, because there's very low level of communication, everybody. Honestly... It should have just been, like, cardboard cutouts, because you don't need to talk if you're a cardboard cutout, you know? You can just say you're in love, and I'd believe that. That I would have believed. This movie should have been a parody, acted by cardboard cutouts, with more wacky music. Everything else could have stayed the same. You change those things, I'm down. I'm ready to go.
I want the parody to be from the point of view of, like, the best friend of all of these relationships that tells the honest truth, and is, like, never in this movie, but, like, it's the same movie, but they're like, do you know how messed up that is? That guy did this and that. What? He wants to marry you? He doesn't even know you. He can't speak Portuguese. Like, I want that
movie. Oh my God,
movie.
I know.
That would be a great movie.
Okay, but that subplot, it was stupid the way they did it, but I think it could have worked if it was like its own movie, because at least then you would have had way more time to see like their interactions, and then it would have made sense if like they both started to learn the other's language throughout and not just like after. And like we don't need to always end it in a proposal. Why couldn't it just be like, hey, can we date? Because like she would have said yes. So like, I don't understand why
she was like, I don't know if you paid attention to what she was saying, but she was like kind of abusive. Like she called him fat a bunch of times.
Yeah. She was like, you're getting fat.
She was like, you're fat, you're stupid. Okay, she literally takes the coffee cup off of his pages that fly all in the lake.
She does.
So she creates the problem, and then she's in the lake yelling at him, how come you don't have copies? B, don't manipulate it. Yeah. This is your problem.
But also, the way that's filmed, because like, okay, I get it. It's to show, like, she's gonna go do something, I guess, nice, but like it...
No, it's just showed her to get naked.
But that's what I mean!
It was one more female scene. It was so stupid.
I feel like the movie was trying to, like, swindle us and be like, see, like, Colin Firth is falling in love with her because of, like, her gesture. I'm like, but you just zoomed in on a tramp stamp.
Oh,
Why did you do that? Why didn't you just zoom in on her diving in to save the papers? Because, like, I don't understand. Does he care about the tramp stamp or his papers? Because these are priorities we should care about. And again, if they were all cardboard cutouts, they could have been floating on the surface of the lake and, like, scooping all the papers together. That would have been very romantic. I'm just saying.
And now I'm thinking of more of the fat phobic with the sister.
Oh
who
my
he calls
God.
her Dunkin' Donuts of 2003.
First of all, I wish there was a Miss Dunkin' Donuts because I would enter and I'm trying to get free iced coffees. So what is that supposed to mean? Dunkin' Donuts does not equal weight gain. Rude.
I honestly was just like, wow. And then I thought to myself, what age was I when this came out and got popular? Oh, cool, 16. So I looked at all this and I was like, oh, like, no, he didn't like really cheat, but he said he loves you. Like, it's not about,
Right.
You don't hear the stories that it's like, this movie is so
It's like high school.
messed up. And I was like, okay, this is definitely a teenage movie, but even now the teenagers would be like, no sir, this movie should not be made, should not be playing. They need to stop playing this movie. This is messed up.
BS.
It's a messed up movie.
Yeah.
You're right. There's not enough comedy to make it just like silly and funny.
Nope.
And there's like way too much serious but doesn't make sense. So your emotions don't even get there because then you're on to the next ridiculous story.
I honestly, like, if this wasn't, because again, I really don't think this should be considered a Christmas movie. There's like
no way.
no Christmas. But I think if it didn't have the Christmas piece to it, I don't think people would like this movie as much. I think it's just one of those like, well, it's a Christmas movie and there's not as many of those, so like we're tossing it in there.
It's the Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You Sprinkle, and a Kelly Clarkson sprinkle, and then we all forgot about the rest of the movie. We were like, let's just wait for Mariah and we'll hold out. That's everybody's just holding out for Mariah.
And wait for the catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. Yep. Also though, that little girl, well, I just wish it was real Mariah. I'm not gonna insult the child. But, like, I hated her pointing, okay? If you want to know. I hated it so much. Because girl don't know how to point, and I don't know how to help her, and the only suggestion I can give is if she was a cardboard cutout, her arm would have been correctly pointed. So, that's all I got. Just saying.
Well, I also felt like she was in this really, like, awkward, like, why do we have an 11-year-old with adult backup singer dancers? And I was like, wait, what kind of production is this?
And then there was, like, weird hip-hop teenage boys, and none of them they were all, like, weird white boys, and I didn't understand.
And when the little kid who was in love with her, when he was like, I'm gonna be a musician, and I'm gonna have her fall in love, and Liam Neeson's like, yeah, you don't, like, know how to play Tiny Problem, the instrument? And he's like, Tiny Problem. In my head, I'm like such a dork. I was like, we know tryouts were like 3 months ago, okay? There is no room for you. Like, again, this whole movie was like, it started off like 5 or 6 weeks from Christmas. And then right before half the movie, it's like, okay, 3 weeks left. And I'm like, 3 weeks? These people are like proposing and what? Breaking up marriages?
Okay.
What?
The porn stars, okay, it was cute because you talked and stuff, but like, it should have just ended with them dating. And no. Last scene of the movie, they're like, we're engaged. I'm like, it's been 5 weeks because the movie told me so.
Yeah.
So y'all need a chill pill because we're on our way to divorce and I'm nervous for you.
100%. 100%.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Bilbo's, he's off. He's not hanging around.
Yo, that ring. You needed that ring. Oh, I love a good Lord of the Rings
Also,
joke.
wait, let's talk about really, really random. As part of the randomness, there's 2 random things I want to talk about. Why were so many people eating cereal? Did you notice that?
Oh, no.
So many cereal eating scenes. Yeah.
Wait, can you tell me some? I'm trying to remember now.
I just felt like Professor Snape's always eating cereal. She's always eating cereal. The third wheel's always eating cereal. I'm telling you, if you start to pay attention, everyone's eating cereal. And it's very weird.
Okay.
It's very weird.
Ah.
Then we have to talk about how Colin Firth leaves the house and he's packing up. He has vampire-sized garlics. Did you see that?
Oh. Yeah. And she was like, oh, what the?
Love.
And he was like, I have a big family. I was like, but are they vampires?
Oh my god, imagine if he was like, I'm gonna go travel Europe and kill some vampires. And then it turned into like a sci-fi adventure. Oh my god.
He's so good.
There's just so many ways this movie could have been better.
Wait, choose your own adventure. Remember when Netflix would do stuff like that? But like
Yes.
all cool stuff. So like people would be like, okay, you think that they're gonna go fall in love like the movie, but instead does he A, become a vampire slayer all throughout Europe, or B, does she become a vampire slayer? Choose your adventure. Oh my god.
Oh, that would have been so good. Every one of these plot lines could have had so many better choose your own adventure paths than the ones that they chose, because I hate it.
Well, and okay, and then the other thing when I was like, again, random. The office Christmas party is held at a gallery where there's just naked people and boobs. Let me tell you, if I actually showed up to a work Christmas party, which would take a lot, that's a lot of effort to actually give a crap about people you work with and go to the Christmas party. And then you look left and right, and it's just like an HR nightmare of just boobs and butts and like, what?
Well, they had Santa hats covering private parts, Bridge, so it's fine. It's all fine.
What? And then imagine telling your coworkers, oh, the secretary planned this, who's sleeping with the boss, cheating on the wife. That's who planned the boob art gallery work party. What?
You know, that secretary who always sits at her desk and she spreads her legs and like,
Spreads
we can
her
all see you.
legs.
And we all hear your weird conversations and like, try a little harder to hide it, guys.
It's so
just
awkward.
A little bit.
And he takes the bait. It's so cliche and boring.
Yeah, it's just stupid. I mean, there was a scene too where I guess it was, I don't remember where the movie this fell, but it was like clearly you knew like, oh, the secretary is hating on the boss and he's into it and stuff. And then it was a scene of Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson and they're like, good night, like they're going to bed, and it's like this plain looking room and you're like, okay, I guess they're like plain. What am I supposed to learn? And then it literally cuts to the girl, a secretary, alone in her apartment, and it's like reds and whites and fur and like, ooh, it's sexy in here. And then she literally gets undressed in front of the camera, and then it's the next scene. And like, that was it. I was like,
Why?
wait, so what am I supposed to understand she's like hotter than Emma Thompson? I'm confused. What was the purpose? Anybody want to let me know? Nobody wants to let me know. What's the stupid writer's name? Oh my god, it was like Richard. Richard? Let me know. Please and thank you. I don't get it.
I think I literally blacked out when I got to that part.
Well, I'm jealous you did because I wish I did.
And this is a long movie.
It was so long, yeah.
So not only did we have to just deal with the ridiculousness of nothing making sense, but it just went on and on, all within this 2-week time frame. And you're just thinking to yourself, what? Are we literally watching every minute, every hour of this whole thing?
And
Oh
that's
my
even
God.
scarier to think because in all those minutes and hours we wasted, nobody seemed to want to talk to each other to get to know one another. So I'm concerned. Goodness gracious. I just wish they cut out like half of the stories, to be honest.
Yeah.
Cut out the best friend one.
Definitely.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Stupid. Get rid of horny Colin.
Ugh,
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Don't need it. I would have preferred to not have the Laura Linney one either, because
No.
what
Okay, is the message that, oh, your brother, she mentions that her parents passed away, so really it's only her. So let me get this straight. You can have somebody in your life that you take care of, and then that means you can't have a life? Like, boundaries, babe.
Okay, but she isn't taking care of him because he's like being helped at a home. So this is what I didn't understand, because in real people life, not like this made up life that should have been an entire dream sequence, and at the end we all wake up, we're like, thank God that didn't happen. My God. If there is someone who is in a place like that and the people working there know like, oh, this person keeps wanting to call their family member perimeter at like odd hours of the night and like way too many. Yeah, you don't let them.
Yeah.
Guys, because they don't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
They're using your phones. So you restrict the access because it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy for that person to be calling all the time. And it's unhealthy for the person receiving the calls because if they wanted to receive those calls, they wouldn't have him in a home. They would be living with them, and they're not. So like, it was the biggest BS ever. That made me so angry.
I will tell you right now, if I lose my marbles and you commit me, just don't pick up my phone.
I ain't answering, Bridge.
If you have a hot guy
I'm
that
busy.
you're making out, do not pick up the phone. I'm already in the mental institution. Let me do me. Don't listen to me. You do you.
Exactly. This is the
Sheesh.
message people need to hear because, again, healthy boundaries, people.
Ugh.
Just because you're in the lens of, like, I have to take care of this person, like, you can still take care of them or allow them to be taken care of and not, like, ruin your own life. So, like, don't ruin your own life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it. It was really stupid.
So many things were so dumb.
So that should have been cut.
Basically what you're saying is the whole movie should be put in a trash can and lit on fire because that's how I feel about it.
Honestly, I would have spent 2 hours? I would have spent the 2 hours watching this movie slowly get destroyed in a trash compactor.
That would actually be better. I would watch that too. And I'd want the actual characters throwing in stuff with what they actually hated because you know that they look back on this film and they're like, how did this get popular?
This movie has a
Love.
high rating on IMDb.
It's like
and,
an 8, right?
Yeah, oh my god.
Well, this is 1000% people are not paying attention.
Yes. And it's like through the probably nostalgia lens where they're like, I remember loving that. And you're like, yeah, but like, maybe try it again.
Yeah, it's...
Now that you're a normal person.
Yeah, it's not good.
Mm-mm.
And like, I really can't think of one character that I'm like, yeah, that person was great. No, there wasn't any.
I came so close to liking, again, the porn stars until at the end where I'm like, why'd you get married in like 5 weeks, guys? That's so dumb. I kind of like Liam Neeson, but then I also didn't like what he meets a lady.
Yeah.
And like, didn't his wife just die like a month and a half ago? Because I'm trying to understand the timeline. Like, we were at a funeral at the beginning.
It's
and then
month.
5 weeks later, you meet a new lady? Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a quick one, buddy. Also, okay, because this was another thing, because like everybody was connected, which was so stupid.
We have to talk about that. Yes.
Okay, so I don't understand how Liam and Emma Thompson were connected.
I'll tell you. They're brother and sister.
So, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Hugh Grant
is also their brother?
Yeah.
But Liam never talks to him?
Yeah, they all ignore each other. And also they're all going through like really heavy stuff. And Hugh Grant's just wiggling his butt in the fancy office.
Wait, are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Emma Thompson is brothers with Liam Neeson.
Okay, hold on.
Brother and sister. She is also Hugh Grant's sister. Now, I don't know if they're like best friends, but I got the sense they were brother and sister.
That just seems so stupid that they didn't have Liam ever try to talk with Hugh Grant if they were brothers.
I believe so. Fact check me right now.
It is also a stupid movie, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I did not like how it was like, we literally see the funeral, so you're like, that's so sad. And then they play, you know, the song and whatever, and then it jumps around. But then the next time you see Liam, he's at his, like, house or whatever, and he's talking to Emma Thompson, who was there with him in person, and he's like, I'm worried about, you know, the boy. What was the kid's name?
We don't know. Nobody knows.
Was it Sam?
That sounds good. Let's call him Sam.
It might be Sam.
All
Let me
right.
see if I can find it.
That sounds about right.
Can't find it, and I'm not wasting energy on that. So he is like, I'm worried about him because he's in his room all the time, and like, you know, I'm just like, I want to be there for him. And then he randomly starts crying, which is like very human. I mean,
Yeah.
You literally just had a funeral, probably the same week. I don't know. The timelines confuse me, so what do I know? And then Emma Thompson, she goes, stop crying. No one's gonna want to sleep with you.
Yeah.
That's literally what she says.
Yeah.
And then he's like, ha ha ha. And I was like, what? What?
She also, like, I don't know if you paid attention to this, but, like, he called her and was like, I need to talk to someone. I have no one to talk to. And she's like, I gotta go. And her daughter's like, I'm a lobster in the nativity play. I'm like, did you really have to go for your, like, lobster daughter? Really?
She didn't. I don't think she wants to, like, deal with it. It's very rude and, like, it makes me not like her character and not want to sympathize
Now,
as much.
you know what? Now that you're saying that, she did kind of stink, too.
Yeah, they all sucked.
Ugh.
All of them. Oh, so stupid. And then he is, like, encouraging the kid kid to want to date the girl. And then there was one part where I was like, oh, this is like a normal conversation. I appreciate this. But it lasted for like 1 minute and then it literally switched like as quick as humanly possible. The movie was like, no. Just kidding. Just kidding. We almost went in that direction, but we're not. Because it was like him talking to the kid and he was like, you know, there's not just one person out there for you. You know, there's going to be like a bunch of people probably. And he was like, you only had one person with mom. And he's like, I guess that's true. But then at the end, he meets another person. I'm like, so is the message... I'm confused now because I don't understand. What's the message? Why did we bring up that conversation to then be like, you're right, son. But then, like, it's not right. But then it might be.
No logic to this at all.
Hate it so much. I wish that kid got like tackled in the airport.
Well,
that would have been my choose adventure. It'd be like, does he go and meet the girl or does he get tackled to the ground? I'd be like, tackle him, do it, let's go, I'm ready.
I would love that. And I would also love if the guy that went to the US and came back also got stopped by like airport security and they were both in the back room having to like justify what the hell he's doing.
Oh my god. It felt like, you know what it felt like? It kind of felt like a lot of plot lines that were like also serving the men.
All the men got served.
Because any plot line where it didn't work out were related to women.
Yeah.
So like Emma Thompson,
yeah.
She gets divorced, but her husband gets to bang a slutty secretary.
Yeah.
Laura Linney doesn't get to bang anyone because she's sad and makes bad choices in her life. And... that's it. But that's too much.
Well, I guess Aurelia, the Portuguese woman, gets married by the man she just abused for 2 weeks.
Married and or sold off. We're not entirely sure what that's...
No, that's right. Her boss says, you can't marry her. She's my best waitress.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah.
If somebody was like, oh, was this from the 1950s? No, it was from 2003. Like, what?
Yeah, I know.
And then Natalie's getting sexually abused by the president of the United States and then fired.
Let's talk about that. Because the way that plot line plays out, the order of the scenes is we meet the president, Billy Bob Thornton. He's basically playing himself, right? Like, he wasn't acting. He was like, I'm just Billy Bob Thornton who got elected as president. And we're all like, oh my god, PTSD, we're afraid.
It's too real. Stop it. Moving on.
He, like, hits on Natalie, and it's gross. And then Hugh doesn't say anything. Okay. Then it's a weird negotiation where, like, it's going horribly. And Hugh's like, anyway, moving on. And then, like, you're like, okay, so Britain just got steamrolled by Billy Bob Thornton. Cool. And then it's just him and Billy Bob Thornton in this office, and they're talking, and Hugh's like, let me go grab something and, like, show you. And then Natalie, like, passes him to go in. And Hugh, this was funny. I did laugh at this. Hugh, like, passes her, and he's like, hey! And, like, does this, like, weird, like, hand gesture, thing. I was like, again, we needed more of that.
Yes, we did.
To, like, don't take yourself so seriously movie.
Yeah.
But then when he comes back in, he sees her getting, like, clearly sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Clearly. And then he doesn't do anything say anything.
He fires her. He fires her.
No. The next part is not when he fires her. It's when he is then in the press room and they're like, wow, you guys get along great, don't you? And he's like, America's a bully and we're not gonna stand for bullies. And so you're like, okay, so like you're sticking up for yourself because he was like a jerk to Natalie. And then he fires her. So what does that make sense? What?
Well, we know that when men run the country, it's based on their emotions about their lovers. So that's really great for us.
Yeah, and that's why we can't have women as elected leaders, because they get periods. And like once a month, they lose their minds and go crazy. Also, I hear their menstruation attracts bears, so... That's from Anchorman, by the way. I take no credit for that. It's that line.
It's just too real hearing you say that, because, like, that would be a phrase.
Oh, that probably was actually said in all seriousness. Possibly in this movie and or our current administration. So, yeah. I don't get it, because, again, you're kind of like, movie. I think you're confused. Because you can't get up with this high horse and be like, we're not going to stand up to bullies, because that makes me believe that you understood she was being bullied and wasn't comfortable with that. But then you also, instead of like talking to her, be like, oh my god,
are you okay?
Yeah. Should we call the authorities? Also, do you need like medical attention? I'm here for you. He instead is like, okay, she needs to be relocated.
Okay.
Which, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if that meant she was going to get fired or like just put a different part of the
fired
like place, but I guess it was fired. fired, right?
Well, and now you're making, with the Choose Your Own Adventure, I have a new purpose for this movie, which is HR training. Because I literally had to just take like a harassment training, and they do these like cartoon people now. They're like, John says this, Emily feels that, what do you do? And I'm like, oh my god, they could just play Love Actually and like stop
They
it
could.
and be like, yo, what should Hugh be doing this? And then they go to Professor Snape, and they're like, should Professor Snape be buying her necklaces? What's happening? Oh my god.
If you're a secretary and you work for Professor Snape, should you spread your legs when you speak to him? The answer is never. Everyone, don't ever do that. Thank you. My god, I know. It's so true. This could be a very successful PSA. You could take every story and turn it into a nice public service announcement about what not to do, how not to handle things, if you will.
Yeah. And like, the other thing that was so bizarre is a Christmas movie where like literally no one cared about their family.
Or Christmas, but yes. There was no Christmas.
But like, what family worked out? Like, even people visiting family, they would all like up and leave. Or people like that had, I don't know, their wives dying in a really traumatic holiday times. Like, people are out dating new women. Like, what?
Sure are.
Yikes.
I mean, I was gonna say like maybe Emma Thompson's family, but no, because they got divorced like literally on Christmas Eve. So like, Merry Christmas. So
I don't know if it was just the haircut. It's obviously not the plot. But Emma Thompson reminds me of Mom in this movie. Like her haircut.
It's got to be the haircut.
Like that color and that short little pixie cut. And she's just making lobster costumes. I was like, Maureen.
Yeah. But see, again, that could have in itself, like I could see that storyline being its own. I don't even know if it probably could be like turned into a movie length. You'd have to add a lot more. But like I liked how they were showing this rung true, I think. This was like an actual realistic part where it was like when you have a family with a mother and a father and children, it is stereotypically always going to end up being the mother who has to keep the status quo because that's the expectation, and they are usually the one who is more responsible in thinking like, how am I going to make this like be okay for everyone? I have to keep everything okay. So she finds out that like she didn't get the necklace like Christmas Eve or something, and then is crying, and then she has to like pull herself together and like return to the family and pretend like life is good because she's like, I guess I can't say anything because I'm the mom and like, you know, I have to do it for the children. Which like there's just a lot with that. It's sad. And like that, I was like, this could have been its own piece because you could have done stuff like that more and more, like more build up, you know, and like it could have been its own movie showing that piece, and maybe even having a part where the kids, you know, start to realize, because usually what happens to children when there's a divorce, when one person files for the divorce, whether the kids know the reason or not, depending on the age, they're usually going to hate the person who filed for the divorce. They're going to say, you're ruining the family, it's your fault. And then usually as they get older, depending on maybe how things are handled or whatever the situation is, they may start to realize that like, oh wait, like thank God. It was like, they actually did that really well in Pen 15 this past season. It was very subtle, but like with Anna and her mom, where she was like angry at the mom and was like blaming the mom for everything, and then she like throughout the season started to realize like, wait, my dad sucks, and like I'm being such a jerk to my mom. So it was like, it could have just been its own thing, and it wasn't. So, and we didn't even see any of like the emotion parts of that. We just saw she calls him out, and then the next time you see them, it's like they're divorced, but then everyone's like happy, so you're like, okay, so I guess we're all...
I think I blacked out at that part. I couldn't take it. Like, you keep talking about making these subplots movies, and I literally have, like, hives thinking about that. Like, we need to reduce these to memes and memes only, and we all know the meme. It's the poster that says things, and then insert relative news, and then, you know, that's the meme that's appropriate, because that was the weirdest thing ever.
Oh my god, I know. And even, like, the rock star thing, again, I don't think it needed to be Christmas. That could have just been, it's an old rock star looking for a comeback, you know?
And why, again, did every dude who were terrible people get everything they wanted? Why did that happen?
Did.
Why? Why did we? What was the purpose? There are no lessons learned, only PSA HR policies to not do.
My choose your own adventure for the rockstar scene would have been where he comes to the manager and he's like, first of all, when he comes to confess his love, I took as like relationship love, not like friendship love.
I didn't know what was happening. I had literally no idea what was happening.
I think that's what they were going for. Well, you know, he comes in and he's like calling the manager chubby. That's not helping.
And ugly.
Right. And then he's like, but, you know, I love you. And then the manager's like, wow, you hung out with Elton John for like one night. Now you're like gay. Okay. And then the rock star is like, yeah, well, I love you. Like, my Choose Your Own Adventure would have been the managers and like, thank God, because I've always loved you. However, healthy boundaries. You are not allowed to make rude comments about what I look like ever, because that does not show me you love me. That shows me that you are being mean. So you better change that or else. And then again, no marriage. No, everyone. Take it easy. Do some dating. Have some convos. We all seem to be afraid of having conversations, but, like, you should have those because I'm concerned for all of you.
If anyone was going to be a cardboard cutout, it'd be the rock star dude. He'd be a great cardboard cutout. We didn't need him to speak at all.
And, like, the naked version of him playing the guitar, like, that would have been him.
This
is a lot.
It was like every plot line, I was like, oh no, this one wasn't bad. Oh, this is terrible. All right, let's go to the next one. Wow, it just keeps getting worse. Like, literally dumpster fire.
Yeah, it was.
And I was so angry that just the time, 2003, didn't get that much flack. I mean, that's not that long ago, and there's still, like, a lot of problematic stuff. And, like, still, nobody cares.
But I think it's because it is considered a Christmas story. Ugh. Because it's like, that is a smaller, you could argue, subgenre. And then it's a rom-com Christmas movie, which again, like, I think now, though, with Hallmark, you have a lot of those, and a lot of those are terrible, holy moly. But like major motion pictures, there's not that much. There's this I can think of, and The Holiday. And The Holiday is amazing.
I was just gonna say,
and everybody back off if you hate it.
Could we do a redo with The Holiday?
Well, maybe The Holiday's on my list for you. Who knows?
Whee!
We'll see. We still have a whole month left of holiday-esque movies, so...
Well, I got one for you, but I'm intrigued if Dad even knew what the heck this was. Did you get to talk to him about it?
No, but I can do a guerrilla-style bum rush.
Yes, those are my favorite. Especially when I can see his face, and he's like, so confused.
Oh my god, I'm like sweating. Okay.
Love is all around us.
He's not gonna know what's happening, but it's okay.
Rose.
Hey. He said, uh-oh.
Howdy do.
Hey.
Where the hell are you?
Oh, it's a fake screen for the students I teach.
Oh, okay.
It's not real.
It's not real. All right.
So we have a movie. I don't know if you're gonna know it, but maybe you can just say something funny about it. It's technically a Christmas movie, which is stupid. It's called Love, Actually. Have you ever heard of that? Oh, Jesus, Mom is making noises.
Mom should make the commitment. To cut the blah, blah, blah.
Well, there's no commitment in this movie, so...
So what are you mad at?
I don't like the movie.
You don't like the movie?
It was terrible.
Like it.
Is there British guys in it?
Yeah.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a perfect dad quote. That's a perfect dad quote.
I love that movie.
Okay, well...
I just didn't get the Christmas play with the sea creatures. It was a little confusing.
Mom
to
didn't
me.
like the change of the nativity
lobster.
play.
But
lobster.
First lobster.
But I did really like the end. All I want for Christmas is you.
That's what this is. It's Mariah Carey. Everyone just waits for Mariah.
Girl can't point though, but
Katie, stop being mad at an 11-year-old.
How does she not know how to point? I don't understand. You can't be a good singer if you don't know how to point.
Having those two speak, it was like the story of us having family dinners growing up. Is Dad saying, it is British people, I don't like it. And Mom saying, I really didn't get the lobsters and I like the music. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much every conversation. Like, no one was ever on the same conversation ever. That describes our life.
It's so real.
That was good. Nice job.
Well, listen, we got through it and now we never have to do it again. We're free from its clutches.
Listen, this is our PSA if we were to do it. Do not see this movie. Petition to take it off. change the channel. It is not even a background movie. This isn't worth it.
Yeah. Somebody who's good at editing needs to take all of the scenes from this movie and again, turn them into either choose your own adventure, number one.
Yes, please.
Second option, edit all of the characters to look like cardboard cutouts who don't have moving lips or features. Number two, take the scenes and or morals, in quotation marks, and turn them into very serious and scary PSAs, akin to drug PSAs, because those were horrific and I'm afraid. So, there you go. That's my challenge for all of you. Okay, I don't have time to do it or the talent, but someone out there does. I just know it.
I believe you have the talent. I think it's the time.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, well, listeners, you're not going to have to deal with a movie that we will hate as much because I guarantee that you love this movie.
Oh boy, okay.
And it is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
It's from 1990.
Oh, 90.
Oh, yeah. And
Okay.
this writer, we have done one of his movies before.
I think I know what it is.
We have also, one of the characters is from a movie we did.
Oh.
Oh, are you ready for it?
Yes, because now I'm not sure.
Home Alone.
Wait, who was the character? Oh, Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, what a queen. Okay, we're doing number one, though.
Yes,
Is that
yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, I just want to be
The
sure
original.
because got it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to remember last year when you came to visit. Did I ever show you that TV show, or it was like a Netflix show that was called The Movies That Made Us, or how this, or it was something.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
We watched the Dirty Dancing one.
There's a Home Alone one though. It's so good. You should watch it. You should watch Home Alone first, and then you should watch the Home Alone episode of that because it was so interesting. Like, there's a lot of fun facts about how this movie got made.
I love it.
And it's very cool. Ooh, it's a good one. I will tell you though, this is another one where you're kind of like, ha ha ha, it's a funny Christmas classic. But also, now that we're older and we're watching it, like, it's a little messed up. This might be like the secret Saw, like, prequel that no one knew. Like, Kevin McAllister maybe became Jigsaw. Perhaps.
I'm hoping the difference with this movie is there is some good comedy.
I think there is, yeah.
That will offshoot the horrific, traumatic situations for poor Kevin McAllister.
I will tell you though, I feel like growing up, I think I watched the second one more, and I may or may not like the second one a little bit more, but maybe that'll change when I rewatch this
Wait,
one.
we can make a game time call. Should we do number 2 instead of 1?
I don't know, would that like be confusing though? Because like, should we have to go in order?
No, we get to do whatever we want. I mean, I think 2 is just as good.
Well, because people always say they're like, oh, they're like the same script, which like a little, but I just think the second one's funnier.
I'll do it. Twist my arm. I don't care.
Do you want to do the second one?
Let's do it. Katie, the movie is Home Alone 2!
Oh boy.
Which,
Well, I don't know what year that came out.
I was just going to say, it's the exact same build-up, but 2 years later, 1992.
Oh my god. Oh, 1992.
Lost in New York. And I love New York, so let's do it.
God, I love it. I love it. Well, we will end up talking about the first one a lot anyway, because there's like references and whatnot.
I am beyond thrilled.
We're the Sticky Bandits. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Sticky Bandits.
I love it. Well, Kate, all I want for Christmas is for Love Actually to die. A slow, long death. Ooh, baby.
Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Set Love Actually on fire. That's my rhyme. It's in rhyme.
Yes, there's nothing saving this movie. There's nothing. We got nothing. A whole
The only
lot
way
of
to
nothing.
save it is, again, to just picture all the characters as cardboard cutouts. Or to interpret the entire movie as, like, a dream sequence. And the person wakes up and is like, thank God that didn't happen. Am I right? I don't know why they're Midwestern, but they are.
You're on the Home Alone already. You're going Midwest. Home Alone.
Yeah, right. I'm in Chicago.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, listeners, we'll see y'all next week. We're going to New York. It's Home Alone 2.
You won't be alone with us.
It won't be alone. We're going Home Alone 2. There will be pigeons.
We won't forget you, right?
No, not in the airport.
There's sticky bandits.
Sticky bandits.
There's like really good booby traps to sticky bandits in houses that we are renovating and is probably not safe, but it's really cool to see the setup.
And you know who's in this movie too? Who's the best?
Ooh.
Tim Curry.
Oh.
We love Tim Curry. And Rob Schneider. He's in this too.
Oh my God, he's really good in this.
Yep.
Listen, we're going to bring it back up.
And also, if you like us and you also hate Love Actually, leave us a review. We love reviews. If you catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it go away by writing a review. Okay.
5 of those
Good.
stars. Thank you.
5 of those catch a falling 5 stars. Put them in your review pockets. Never let them go away on Apple Podcasts. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Okay. All right, now we'll see y'all next week, listeners. Home Alone 2, don't be confused. 2. Lost
Home
to New York,
Alone
we're going to New York.
2, because whatever Katie says goes.
What? That's not.
But I like it.
Okay.
I think we should constantly evolve with this podcast. Who knows where it'll be as we keep going? We might even make a movie, right? Who knows?
Oh my God.
Oh, I said it. I'll say it again.
Our movie will just be a parody of Love Actually, so.
It'll be an HR training that we get tons of corporate money.
Definitely. 100%.
I love your guts.
Love you.
Toodles.
We'll see y'all next week, listeners.
You're the only thing I love, actually.
Oh! Actually, I love you too. Bye!
Actually, bye!
Bye!
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, among other podcasting websites. Or listen on our website at sisterswhoseenit.buzzsprout.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at SistersWhoSeen and on Instagram at SistersWhoSeenIt, all spaced with underscores. See you next week.